Everybody. Hey, Mike, this meeting's being recorded.
And also a reminder to all of you, when you see the green circles up here, everything you say can and will be held against you because you're being recorded or processed out. Yay!
All right, let's do, see if I can go to the next one. Why is it not going? All right, cool. There we go.
Yay!
Perfect. Mission moment, Mike.
And
You're,
make sure we got
can you
the right.
mute yourself?
It
Come on.
is. Welcome to Apple.
So, you all know and love our very own Dan Turkel, and it is so exciting to welcome their new addition. So make sure, if you haven't yet, to congratulate them and to send them your prayers and good wishes.
So we thought that was a good way to start the mission moment.
Yeah,
today.
it doesn't get much better than that. I mean,
And
new life.
Amanda
Come
brought
on.
down a new turtle for when we do the new culture winner for the week, and I left it upstairs.
Oh, maybe if there's someone upstairs that's on the live Zoom that will go into Mike's office and grab the turtle and bring it down, that would be great.
We'll see what happens. So
So-
who is our culture winner for the week? This
Well,
is exciting.
We did have our very own Mission Moment Spotlight last week, which was Tyrus Townsend.
And he nominated
Dan.
Dan Turkel.
So everybody thank Dan Turkel when you see him, send him a little kind message of all the great things he's done for you. And I know he has done great things for you.
And Tyrus says, I was talking to him yesterday, thanks to Dan, he's got $1 million worth under contract.
Yes.
Just from the help of Dan.
Massive.
So
That is super exciting.
it's like we have tech people here that can help you learn how to use the system.
And it's like, oh wait, someone brand new like Tyrus that has adopted the tech because of Dan,
Mhm.
and he's got $1 million under contract. Huh, it's funny how that works.
Craziness.
I guess that works.
Yeah.
All right, so it is Tuesday. Yay! Ashley! Woo! Perfect.
Okay, so funny story. This is probably the 5th or 6th Speedy the Turtle I've seen around here. Because apparently he's kind of fragile.
We don't know what happens sometimes.
And he gets broken multiple times. He gets repurchased by some of the culture winners.
That's right.
Kevin's business cards may have been inside of the last one.
Well, we
Oh,
had
really?
we had our little mini one there. Did you buy that one?
No, Brian Stone did.
Brian, yes,
That
that was his, wait, he could wave? You remember
Yes.
that? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Speedy's back, so
Yes.
we will be getting Speedy to Dan Turkel this week. Dan, if you're watching, well, you're probably not, you're probably feeding baby.
Yes.
All right, so team meeting today.
It is March. Welcome to Mullet March.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's like No Shave
I
November.
can't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, because.
You like it.
So, since Dan Turkel is not here, Tech Tuesday.
We have a plan B.
That's right. So we are going to be having, first of all, where is he? Is he here? Chris Locke?
He was up.
There he is. Chris Locke, are you helping out with Dan, for Dan? You're helping out with,
Next Tuesday?
not Tech Tuesday, but you're
Domain
doing,
and DocuSign.
yes,
Yep.
perfect. And then 2 Tech Tuesdays, who's taking that?
Chris Day.
Chris Day.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I couldn't.
Perfect timing.
Perfect. So Chris Day will be doing Tech Tuesday after the team meeting today.
So Chris and Chris have all your technology needs.
That's right.
Contract class on Thursday. I know none of you need to come. If you have an associate who needs help.
And the contract changed, what, 2-3 weeks ago? So it's probably good to come. Learn the new stuff.
Big. And you made this slide last night.
Yeah, these are some things Nicole wanted us to say real quick. Nicole, hop on and tell us about these 3 items, please.
Yeah, so we have a lot of awesome training coming up in March. We have really leaned into the KW use classes that they offer us from KW Connect, from KWRI. So we are going to be hosting 2 of those in our market center this month: Win with Buyers with Jen Davis and the 6 Personal Perspectives with Dan Holt. There are Facebook events for those 2. And then I'll be sending out an email today with all of these links. So then that way you can just go to one spot and sign up and register. We are also having continuing education in person. So we are doing a seated course that is on April 7th, and it will be at Relics Event Center for the whole day. Now, you must be registered and you must pay prior to going to the CE classes. So please make sure that you get on that registration card as soon as possible. It'll be through a Google form. Again, that'll be in an email today.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And can you hear us okay? I mean, everything sounds good on your end? Okay, because it feels so weird not holding our mic.
I know.
Yes. I'm so used to having 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
mics up here, but you know.
Okay, awards night's coming up. March 12th, which is next Saturday.
That's like really soon.
Yep.
And if you aren't registered yet, please do so. We need to know what kind of account, and obviously which guests you're bringing.
And Nicole, we need to know that by Friday,
Friday?
correct?
Yes, Friday it
Yes.
is.
So
Okay.
far we have 71 people signed up. We know there's more of you coming than that. So get your Heine gear, get in.
At the old
log
glass
in.
place.
Yeah,
So
it's
much
gonna be fun. It's gonna be huge. So make sure you get there. So a lot of the stuff on here, we're gonna zoom through quick. So we have a lot of time for the family reunion panel.
Panel and getting all the
So,
eyeballs from that.
Numbers, a
Numbers.
lot lower than last year as a comparison. And we went down in active listings from the last week also.
And then this was the interesting part we'll point out before we continue, and that was this 199 closed, and that was in the morning of yesterday.
Yesterday
And
morning.
then in the afternoon, as we were doing our slides, getting ready for the end of the day, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. So I had him pull it up. By 3 PM yesterday, it was at 252. So literally increased by, over 50.
Last day of the month, so we're guessing even
Yes.
more will come in on today. from
So
that.
anyway, just wanted to give that quick update. These look pretty normal for this time of year right now.
Yep.
So if you want to do screenshots on those online, you can do that. And Mike always sends them out as well.
Yeah, and we've gone down in listings. Now we have last year, so we can track how we are compared to last year. So this week, last year, we had 611 active listings in GSBOR. Yesterday, we had 579.
So I think that has a lot to do with the weather as well, though. I think that really did affect it in some ways. And the fact that, we were gone in Florida.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are you gonna do? Obviously, we finished February's book, which was Shift. And because of Family Reunion's keynote speaker,
Mhm.
Sean Acor, he wrote The Happiness Advantage. So I figured a great addition to our book club for this month would be The Happiness Advantage. So if you'd like to read that together, considering how great he was as a keynote, I mean, for everybody that went, was that one of the best keynotes you've ever heard in your life? It was incredible. And so I can't wait to do
Once the
that.
recording's available, we're gonna do it again here. It's that good to go through it. I'm gonna go through it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
And my wife's actually gonna do it with her staff at the hospital. That's
So
how good this thing is.
that's how good it was. It was amazing. All right, so we've got the GSBR sending out stuff here.
Okay, record tickets for the GSBR party was 340 last year. As of yesterday, there were 830 sold. 880 is the max.
So there's 50 left.
Or that was yesterday morning.
Oh,
They
okay.
could be gone.
Could
If
be
you
gone.
haven't signed up, you want to go to that, it's gonna be fun. 880 people. It's at the Oasis. Never been this big. It's gonna be a party.
I can't wait. That's gonna be really fun. Oh,
Don't call people you're
don't
not
call
supposed
people.
to.
Don't call people that shouldn't be called. There we go. We'll move on.
Golf tournament. This is the RPAC, Realtors Political Action Committee Golf Tournament.
You said this already sold out, you
It
think?
could be. Last year it sold out in 2 or 3 days. So if you're
Ridiculous.
interested in that, you better get your team on there fast.
Okay, and it's best ball.
Yes.
That's right. YPN, save the date, March 8th, 4 to 6 PM. Anybody have any more details on that?
Nope.
We good? All right, let's
So
keep
just a
going.
lot going on. Here's the whole
GSBR calendar.
This is the whole March calendar for GSBR. There's a lot happening.
You all get sent this. We're not gonna cover it too much right now
Yep.
because we're gonna keep going. Here we go, moving on. Vendor guide, we have amazing vendor partners. Onward.
As Chelsea's coming up,
Oh, yes.
while she is, anybody online that's there, please say your name and who you are quickly.
And we'll move, and we'll continue. Come on up, Old Day Cities.
There's so much good for family reunion. We want to save a lot of time.
That's right.
Anybody online? Vendors in here, say your name, say who you are real quick. Let's go back corner.
Jess Bowman, Bowman Insurance Group. We appreciate you guys. You guys
Awesome.
are awesome.
Cam with Goosehead Insurance, get 20 quotes in 2 minutes at quote.gooseheadcam.com.
Awesome.
Amy Hunsaker Williams, The Collective Home Staging.
So cool.
I saw somebody over here.
Jonathan with 417 Reiki.
At book club this morning. Awesome.
George Rockman with the Chosen Home Warranty.
Fantastic.
Who else?
We good? All right.
Chelsea with Onward Agent Services. I'm trying to be fast today. Apparently, we're doing a speed round.
Mark your calendar. March 17th, opening show
Oh,
members
gosh.
only.
Members only. March 17th.
At the Kiss. At
Yeah,
Kiss.
Kiss, yes. Also, if you need to leverage anything with your business, come talk to us. We're up in the main office. Also, Tip Tuesday, upload your lead-based paint disclosures when your listing goes live.
How about that? Fantastic.
Don't forget
Great
that.
job. Great job.
In the words of the immortal White Snake.
Oh my
Why would you go, here I go again on my own? You don't need to. You got Onward. to help you with this stuff.
Oh, my
Good
goodness.
one,
Oh, my
Mike.
goodness. Bro, oh, yes, sir, come on up.
That's what the eighties
Quick,
theme.
right? Fast.
Yes.
Okay, starting March 6th, Fetty and Franny have, Freddie and Jenny and Jim.
Kevin?
No, Freddie and Fanny have agreed. I want you to put that out.
I'm gonna call it that forever now.
Gotta hurry up, Mike, quick. So no, they're actually anything less than 90% loan to value, you can possibly get an appraisal waiver. So
Whoa.
it's a waiver, but it's also a desktop review. So we all know with values and where they're at and how everything's kind of, going above asking price. We still may run into some issues, but that is going to be an option. We will know as soon as we run desktop underwriting. We'll be able to tell you if that's possible or not. So March 6th.
Yep, love it.
HSA, I see Patty online from Morawski Inspections.
Yes, Patty, hello.
And all of our vendors that are here, please make sure and hang out and visit with agents afterwards. That's why you're here, to meet people and provide services for them.
And have a
So
great business-to-business relationship. It helps so much to have
it's
those partners.
amazing.
Okay, Jim, Don, I know Don can't be on this morning. Jim, anything you want to say?
Everybody's perfect.
Everybody's perfect, Jim says. Woo! Give each other a high five. Okay, all right, we'll continue. Family reunion was awesome, Mike.
Yes.
And there are tons of highlights and pictures. We're gonna rock through these really quickly. This was the insanity of the MAPS event.
This was
This was the start of getting on buses to go to Epcot.
4,600 people, 90 buses.
That was nuts, absolutely crazy. There are new ventures of KW that are so exciting. I can't even talk about them all, but we're gonna get into some of those in the future meetings as well. And then, yeah, just there were so many huge things displayed that we're gonna hear about today. We had so many of our amazing, talented people. Rachel's up here.
We had 7 presenters from our market center presenting, and how many events were there total? Like 30 or
I
40
think it was
breakouts?
40 breakouts.
So Springfield, Missouri, give
That's
a round of applause. We have all the pictures coming up.
Yeah,
in a
we
second.
do. I'm gonna try to go faster. This was the bus that Mike's wife, incredible. She was so great at taxiing us back and forth from the resort to the events.
The Becky
So,
Uber.
the Becky Uber. We stayed at Westgate, which was really fun. The inspirational morning. I mean, that was probably my second favorite inspirational morning ever. There's Jen Davis. Let's see. There's the crew at Epcot. And
That's a lot of Dan right
that's a
there.
lot of Dan Holt right there. I don't know. That should, we just need to pass that one. Okay, and there's
There's Carrie.
Carrie. These are blurry, Mike.
I know. It was
Blurry.
It was a big room. I mean, these were huge auditoriums, like 2,000 and 3,000
They were
people
massive.
that our people were presenting in.
That's right. Paulina. And there's.
Adam and Melinda.
Yep. And
I think
there's
they
your
got the same.
crew.
There's my gang.
Yay.
We stayed after.
route out. Yes.
Okay. So after the Epcot event, our bus took us the long way down International Drive, dropped us at the front of the building, which is 7 million square feet. And he's just like, and he was Jamaican. He's like, sorry, man, I'm told to drop you here. That's all.
Oh, wow.
And so we're having to walk around the whole building till some security guy let us in so we could go through it instead of around.
It was a hot time.
The whole conference was on fire.
It was on fire. So
That was the
reunited.
car on the side of the road as we were going to dinner.
It did
one
feel
day.
so good to see so many great people
Yeah.
that we've known for years and to be back into it. There are tons of downloads that are available. It is a little difficult if you have never been there before, but if you go to your MyKW, or if, and maybe I'll just do a video on it and post it internal, but it's really quite easy to get to Connect. And once you're in Connect, it has a search feature like Google. You just type in FR 2022 or Vision 2022 or Family Reunion 2022, and you cite, and it'll pull up a lot of the links to a lot of these things. For example, and I think Nicole, did you want to put some of those links in the chat as well?
Each one of these links is already there.
Yes.
That was Levi from the new military division, and his story was incredible. I mean, that's one worth watching once we get here.
Okay. And
So the Sean Acor,
yes,
he was a big TED Talk guy. So I actually watched him while I was on the treadmill this morning. His stuff's great. And it was like a 12-minute thing. So jump in on that. Don't wait for the thing to come because you can get to that ahead of time.
so powerful. All right, so family reunion wrap up. That's partly why most of you are here, is to hear the great inspiration and ahas and implementable actions. So come on up, Josh.
And while Josh is coming up, our goal is to have the ALC committees taking control of team meetings.
That's right.
So as you're on another committee, if you have things you want to bring forward, like Josh has been, I mean, he put all this together.
Yes.
So that's our goal, as to where we're fed by each other.
Yep.
We're kind of just us two talking up here.
I
all the time.
know. We're brilliant, but not that
blow out
brilliant,
your
Mike.
mullet on the treadmill? Is that how you do
Uh,
that?
This morning I used the hairdryer because I did that picture.
Oh, gosh, so bad.
If you haven't seen, I did a picture this morning online for Mullet March.
The level of confidence with this is just
To
nuts.
be honest,
And
Your
actually-
mullet's helping me with my diet, so I
There we
appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, so I looked it up, there is a hashtag for Mullet March.
Okay.
Some fundraiser somewhere in another country, so.
Mm.
All right, Josh, take it away.
I'm growing the girl version.
Oh,
So I was gonna have it done on, but I guess I'll keep it for the month.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so I am the chair of the growth committee on the ALC, so I've asked Rachel Lusk, Kelly Nystrom, and Brian Jackson to come up here, do a quick panel. I've only got a few questions for each of them, so go ahead and make your way up, guys. And my goal is to let them kind of talk and have the floor and kind of create open conversation. From that, if you guys have, one question or two questions that you guys didn't get to go to family reunion or maybe curious about, holler at them, right? So at the end, if we have some time, we'll ask some more questions as well. This isn't really for me. I got to go and, I get to talk to most of them quite a bit. So if you guys have questions or curious about things, definitely ask us as well. So kind of mentioned to you guys, I had 3 questions. I'm going to start it off with a question I didn't mention, but sorry, it's good. Here's one. It's an easy one. You might know the answer to this one. So introduce yourself a little bit for those who don't know. I know, Brian, you're pretty new to KW.
I am.
And then who you are and kind of what your goals are this year as a team or as individual for production wise.
Okay. So Brian Jackson, I moved here from Remax the week between Christmas and New Year's. The whole reason we came over, we've been doing this a long time, but and had a great job. I've had a great job for a long time, but we came over because we want to start building a business. I want something that doesn't screech to a halt whenever we decide to take a week's vacation. I want something that will start to, not completely passive, but start to have more of a passive income and that sort of thing. I wanted somewhere that would teach me how to systematically do that. And how to build. And so it's funny, I've spent most of my time in like new agent classes since I've been here on Zoom and stuff, but I've learned something from every one of them. I mean, so, 23 years of doing this and I'm still getting my mind blown. And family reunion really do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
So I don't know if I'll ever miss one.
It doesn't really matter how many times you've gone. It's always
Yeah.
different, right? I mean,
One thing is, I think for me, it was so overwhelming that I really didn't feel like I kind of figured out how to navigate it until it was about time to go home. So by next year, I'm going to be ready to hit it hard from day one.
next year it's like day 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it's like day 2.
Yeah.
And then you get used to it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
I don't think I've ever been in a building that large either.
Yeah, it was large.
It was huge.
Keeping perspective too, that was like half the amount of people in person that
Yes.
were usually there, about.
Yeah, That's right. They're normally like 30,000.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There were a lot of people. What your goal was?
Yeah, what's your team's goal this year?
So, I'm probably gonna revise it at some point, but we came in thinking that we just wanted to get to 50 transactions. I've never hit the 50 transaction mark in a year. I've been in the 40s, and most years between 30 and 40, frankly, but we got to like 43 or 44 one year. So my first goal is to get past that milestone. And then while we're doing that, hopefully be setting ourselves up for more success next year by getting some help and getting some, like Mark Stewart told me about, using a transaction coordinator. So we started doing that, and God, I love that, especially seeing as how command is still like Greek to me. So I just sent it.
Once you have one, you'll never go.
I know.
Yeah, that was cool. And I figure even with 50 transactions at $250 a pop, that's $12,500. I couldn't hire somebody for that.
No.
So, I
And the
think
leverage it
I think that's a
allows for you is
smart.
huge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kelly?
Oh, my turn. I'm Kelly Nystrom. I'm Director of Ops for Browntown Homes and also an agent for Browntown Homes. Our goal this year is, I think, 72 million and some change.
No, 72 million?
72 million. I'm sorry.
I was like,
I like it. I'm down. I'm holding you
72.
He's
accountable.
really good at his calculations. They're very, very detailed.
72 units, 15 million.
72.
You
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I was not prepared for this question.
Sorry.
I
like it.
That was it, right?
How long you been with Keller Williams?
A year in last November, so a little over a year.
Rachel?
I'm Rachel Lusk. I'm the MCA here at the office. I've been with KW almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in September. Our goal for the Market Center this year is to increase agents' productivity, so closed units per agent. So from 2.4 to 2.6, which I know sounds like a small difference, but when we have 400 plus agents, it's going to make a huge difference in their lives as well.
Rachel just became a MAPS coach as well, so it's super awesome. I mean,
It's a 4-month-long, 16-week
16
process.
weeks, yeah. You were talking about that last night, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
solidified the fact that I'm not making it through red shirts. Yeah. All right, guys, so we'll go ahead and jump right into the questions you knew about. So I'm sorry for that. So the first question, guys, why are events like Family Reunion important to you and your team to attend? I know, Brian, you're going to have a little bit of a different answer because you've never been before and, didn't know what to expect. So yeah, what makes it important to you, now that you've been and going forward?
Well, like I said, I don't think I'll ever miss one. For me, it was just that, I've known successful agents in this market for a long time. I'm friends with Dan. I'm friends with, I've known Patrick Murney forever, so on and so on. But it was just mind blowing for me to see what is possible. I mean, and so then talking to some of these agents, it's not because they're in huge markets that they're doing all these big numbers. It's because they're just following the models. They're doing it, and I had one guy from Memphis, and I've got his car, I can't remember his name, but anyway, a real character. I think he might even be the OP in Memphis, but anyway, and we were visiting, and he said, it's just about doing it every day. And that seemed to be the big thing for me, which I won't say that yet because you're going to ask that question next. But anyway, a lot of stuff that I heard and learned was stuff that I've heard and learned before. But there were nuggets here and there that I picked out. I'm like, okay, now that's cool. And that's a neat idea. And so I'm anxious to see, to start implementing some of this stuff and see. And look, some of it might not work for us. I don't know, but we'll try it and see. And if it don't, we'll move on to the next idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kelly?
For us, I think it's more of a reset. Like you get going throughout the year and you just kind of get stuck in the same motions. And for me, Family Reunion was more like perspective changing. Things that I know I'm supposed to be doing, but I've put to the wayside because I'm comfortable the way I'm doing it, or things I never even considered on how to do things. So it just kind of is a reset, and I feel recharged and ready to hit the ground running this year.
Awesome. Rachel?
One of Keller Williams' big value propositions is these big events, so Mega Camp and Family Reunion. And so you have the opportunity to meet agents across the country and learn from them and gain that different perspective that we have not had for 2 years. And so, yes, it was leaving and you're like, wow, I'm so glad to be a part of this family again and be able to see these people. And you're also to be able to be in rooms with people that think a lot larger than you. So even regional events, being around people from our region that are doing twice as what we're doing and figuring out how they're doing it. And it's the same stuff they're doing. They're just probably more disciplined than what we're doing, or they're maybe a little bit innovative, but it's the same stuff. And so for me, it was being in those rooms again. I always want to be in those bigger rooms to challenge my thinking, to say, why not this? Why can't we do this? And that's was kind of we were in Gary's mastermind one day, and they brought in the former director of innovation for Disney. And it was like, when you have an idea and people shut it down, you automatically don't become creative or think, how can I build this? And when you're in an environment that says yes, and you keep building off of it, you're able to think a lot larger. So
that may have been the coolest part of Family Reunion period. I do, it was impressive.
Yeah. And so being events like those, it's more of a yes and event. Why can't we do this?
100%. Awesome, guys. So second question here for you. What did you take away as the overwhelming theme this year from Family Reunion? So in the past, when I've gone, you always notice that there's something that it keeps coming up, right? It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. What did you guys notice this year as the overwhelming theme?
Being consistent. Well, we talked about that yesterday.
Yep.
And then Kirk brought up this morning, one of the coolest things that we heard, and I forgot about it until you said it today. And I was like, yes, I remember when he said that, was Aaron Kaufman, when he said, my persistence will mask my stupidity. And I mean, that's epic, guys, because none of these guys that are doing huge numbers, they're not doing it because they're special. They're just doing it because they've got the habits. They're doing it every day. They're doing it day in and day out. And therefore it becomes predictable. I mean, I think that was huge.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For me, it was also consistency. I tend to overthink things like social media. I overthink like, oh, this isn't good enough to put out, or worry about what people are going to think about it. And the people that are successful doing it, it's not because of the quality. It's because they put it out there. And people aren't nearly going to be nearly as critical of you as you are going to be of yourself.
Anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that I just don't care. I just put it on there. I'll throw it out there.
I think one of the quotes they used in Paulina's social media panel was, my presence is going to be a lot greater than yours because I'm actually doing it, and you're second guessing is if you should even post it. kind
My
of thing.
mediocre video is better than your
Yeah,
non-existent.
exactly.
Ah.
And so just do it. No, that's what I love.
You get 100%, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I mean, that's the truth.
Or perfect is the enemy of done, right? If it can't be perfect and yeah.
For me, it was people. So whenever you went and registered, you had the bin choices of the color of the lanyard to show. Green was hug, high five, I'm so happy to see you. Yellow is fist bump, red, stay away. First day, the green bins were completely empty. And people were having to actually grab the other color of lanyards because they were out of green. And the coolest thing was you saw Jason Abrams, Mark King walking through the vendor halls after they got done presenting, coming down and talking to the leadership because they were wanting to meet with everybody, interact with anybody, take pictures. And that is the first time I've ever seen that. Previous leadership, it was on stage presenting, walk away, and you would never see them again. And so the fact that the leadership has changed and it's more about the people and they're caring about that inspires me to say, how can we step it up at our game?
Yeah, on that note, this year was a little different. Instead of you like going to a breakout and then walking a half mile to another breakout, they kind of kept you clustered up. What tracks did you guys follow? So you had individual, you had team track, you had.
We went
ops,
team.
Yeah, and then you had.
Solo
leadership.
agent with admin,
Yeah.
team, leadership expansion.
Yeah. So Brian, you said you followed the team track for the most part.
We did. We figured that we'd be better off to do what we aspire to do. I mean, at this point, it's me and her, so we're not really a team yet, but that's what we plan to do, going forward.
Absolutely.
We kind of beamed all over the place, to be honest, depending on the content, because we're at a place where we're about to scale. And so we want a lot of different perspectives. So we went to some solo agent stuff, went to some team stuff,
Absolutely.
just a mixture of everything.
Leadership, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or else when like Carrie was speaking or Paulina was speaking, I was in those rooms.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they did a really good job with that because it did allow for a little bit more personal interaction with those leadership groups, right? You weren't just running to the next one. You could sit there and have conversation with them, and they had nowhere to go except for 20 minutes from then they had to walk across the hallway. So they didn't have to go run off either. It was kind of allowed for that interaction.
And Gary was more relaxed. In one of our leadership sessions, he literally walked out when Jason Abrams was presenting and was like, wait, this is way too much information. You need to do a different class for this. And Jason advances the next slide and it said, thank you. Because he was just like touching it. But Gary was like, no, let's talk about it some more. And so he was so relaxed this year and you could tell in his demeanor.
That's awesome. Cool. So what is the one or two things that you guys plan on implementing that you took away from family reunion?
There were so many little things. Probably one of the coolest things that I was talking to a lady about, I sat down to eat lunch at one of the little lunch areas, and this lady sits down, she's like, is anybody sitting here? No, sit down. So she starts talking and so she's talking about seminars, giving seminars on, whether it be for new home buyer seminars or whatever, wealth building seminars that you can invite clients to, and all sorts of different. And so we were talking and I was like, and she would say this stuff and I'd be like, that's brilliant. She goes, I know it is, right? She was really cool. And the next thing I know, I see she's doing literally a breakout session on the exact same thing. She's the head lady for that. And I was like, okay, well, apparently I was talking to the master, But for me, I think it's trying to come up with some new ways to differentiate ourselves. And that's always the toughest part in real estate because, you've got 2,500 people in Springfield, Missouri, kind of trying to do the same thing. You got to stand out. You got to find a way to stand out.
Once you have that solid foundation, you're allowed to show a little bit of creativity, right? Figuring out what lane that is for you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
For me, I really struggle with, if I know how to do it, I want to help you do it. So I fill my time up probably foolishly. So focus as an implied no is a big thing that stuck out to me of I need to be time blocking my 20% and making sure that I keep enough time for myself. to do the things that I need to do before helping everyone else with what they need to. Another thing I get stuck on is social media. I know people get sick of, oh, I got one under contract. Oh, I got one under contract. So I wasn't really sure what else to post. And they shared that you should be sharing entertainment, informational information, and inspirational information. So it kind of gives you a formula of what to post. They say you're supposed to post every day consistently, but I was never sure what am I supposed to post consistently. So that really gave me a direction, and I'll definitely implement that this year.
That's awesome.
There was a couple. One of them was talking about opportunities to our agents more. So last night, Jason held a mastermind on career development and the opportunity map of KW. And that someone had mentioned, I had never seen it before. And so for me, that was a huge aha of like, we don't talk about the opportunities within Keller Williams as much as we should and what that could lead to. Wherever you're wanting to go, there's a path for that. And so putting that in front of our agents more, and then how do I get in front of agents more? What kind of conversations, relationships can we build at a greater level?
Absolutely. It's awesome. You guys got anything else you want to share? Takeaways, thoughts? You don't have to sales pitch family reunion, I think.
Next year's in Anaheim, so that's really exciting.
From one Disney to another.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so what I was gonna say is.
Mike has to buy another condo.
And so for me, this was a weird family reunion. I had to now split my time. Previously, it was 100% market center focused. That was my one thing, is making sure everybody in our market center had the best experience possible. And it was split this year with coaching as well. And so huge kudos to Mike. Also was a great benefit because he loves Orlando, but he really took it and ran with it. Which made me feel comfortable knowing that I could do other things. But I can't wait to see what Anaheim's gonna look like for him next year, because it's, again, one Disney to the other.
He's already excited.
Yeah.
I had to know an old marching band guy would know how to put together a good trip.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you don't want to miss. And I'm so excited to see what Mega Agent is going to be like. And this year they're splitting up where leadership is a whole other time. Like we're in April and Mega Agent is actually in August or September, whenever they decide to have it. So I'm so excited to see that and how they keep evolving it more and more.
That's awesome. I think one thing that I took away this year is like an overwhelming theme that we just kept seeing over and over again. And Brian kind of touched on it, is getting back to your systems and models. And with this market being a little bit crazy, we're all kind of just trying to gunsling it and figure out where we can find a property to list or get a contract to stick when we're writing 100 offers for our buyers. And I think one thing that just kept coming back, and we were in all the expansion breakouts, and you're hearing people that are doing this at 50 different cities or 4,000 units in a year. It's still system-based and it's still model-based. They're still making 20 contacts a day. They're still door knocking. They're still doing open houses. That doesn't change. And I think that was a big overwhelming theme for me this year as well.
That's probably the only reason they are successful.
That's probably the only reason they can actually sell that many homes, by staying consistent. Otherwise, you kind of.
You're
fall
all over the
off.
place.
Yeah,
I've been
you
all
know
over the place for 20 years, so yeah, trust me.
Absolutely.
I think one of the topics would be interesting to probably mastermind another time is Gary wore the Buy Dirt shirt.
Mhm.
And so what does that mean for everybody? Does it literally mean go out and buy land? Or does it mean buy real estate? Or does it mean just developing whatever you want to do? I think that would be an interesting topic to kind of discuss more, because that flooded every single channel of communication I had. Was people was like, how do I get to
And I
shirt?
Did you
think,
listen to the song yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, listen to the song.
No.
and I think the answer to that, like a simple answer, is yes,
Mhm.
right? He's not going to say don't do any of them,
Yeah.
but we already know that we're not going to build more dirt, right? Unless we go to Mars or something, which I don't know that's going to be in my lifetime, but maybe Jim's lifetime, so we can get it done. But I think you're right. Like it's about getting your share, whether that's by buying dirt and developing it, or holding it and selling it to someone who wants to develop it, or if it's flipping a house and holding it, or whatever it may be. But if you truly believe in this industry, why aren't you acting as part of it? I think that was a huge, that and Mark's shirt that he brought on stage was probably,
Brian Stone went and purchased that right away.
I've got one on its way. Yeah.
Which
Can
shirt
you
was that?
explain that one?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Maybe you should write it out.
I'll be PG because we're recording. Mark brought a shirt up and he was just holding it. He didn't wear it. But it said, yes, the MREA is still blanking relevant. And that was kind of like another systems and models. yeah, if you're not rereading the MREA after reading or watching that, probably a good idea to go ahead and dig back into that book.
Yeah.
But you guys got any questions,
I
any
think the reason
thoughts?
For that, because MRA too, they keep asking when it's gonna come out, and he goes,
It
just
doesn't need
keep
to.
going
Just
to
go
the
back
other
to,
one. Just
go
keep
back to
going
number
back.
two.
Yeah.
Go back, or number one, yeah. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts?
Rachel, you
Jim?
mentioned the.
Well, just,
Hold on, Jim.
as one thing from the family reunion, in the past, there has been mention of other competitors. There wasn't a single word said, and it was all about Keller Williams. And one of the comments they made, one of the last ones they made was, at the inspirational breakfast was, you know, this is like a football team that, you know, you had a bad first half or you had a good first half. Now you need to remember to go out and have the best second half you can ever have. And so just as a reminder of that, to make sure that it sticks, is that there's a playoff game recently where the Kansas City Chiefs looked almost perfect. And then the second half was a little different because they got away from their fundamentals. They strayed from the MREA of NFL football, and the results weren't very good. I think you have to remember that. I think that's, and the, you know, the focus is always going back to basics, but if we don't remember that, then it might be a bad second half. You can be number one in the first half. That's not really a good deal. You know, you want to be number one in the second half.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear it for our panel. Was there one more question?
Oh, you just mentioned that next year's family reunion is in April. Do they have actual dates?
It's in Anaheim. No, Mega Leadership is in April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Anaheim, I believe, is the 17th through the 21st of February.
There you go, right there.
That is not confirmed, but the people who know how to look at where hotels have been reserved have said,
If you go to the actual like Anaheim convention calendar, you can see it on those. So if you know the city, you can go to the convention place and that's how you find it.
So, first off, let's go to our panel. Secondly, I love what Josh is doing with his committee. He is stepping up and teaching in a variety of ways. I want to give him a round of applause for that. too.
I just want to thank you. I mean, you took us like we were his students and he was like calling everybody. I was almost late. And he always called me. So thank you. It was really nice.
Just remember, you wait on the bus don't wait on you.
I love it. You just need to buy like walkie-talkie.
Yes.
One of my favorite things also just from my was hearing how many times Gary was surrounding himself with just really genuine, lovely people. I mean, when he did Mark's life story at KPA, right? And being able to basically display and show who our current president is and just who he is as a person and his care and heart for us as agents and the company. And then the new military guy, that guy is just a gem of a person. I mean, you can't not deny that that guy is the right guy to lead Keller Williams Military. And then, you know, every single leader that has joined us recently was so overwhelmingly lovely to watch and hear and see as a genuine and authentic person of character. And I just love that. I think that was a main theme for me. And we're looking to change a few things.
We'll get into some of the other themes at other meetings.
Yeah.
And I had a couple big themes that hit me, but then the last leadership thing, something Jason Abrams did, really hit home. He was basically saying, here's what's coming up for those of you that are going to do it. And it hit me, 80 to 90% of the people at family reunion go, oh, this is great. And they come home and go right back their old way.
That's right.
So that's our challenge to you, those of you that went and those of you that didn't. You just heard some great stuff. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to say, that sounds great, but it won't work for me?
And that's a quote. If you want to write this down, this changed my life. Education, like what you learned at Mega Camp, education without the implementation is just entertainment. And so you were entertained at family reunion. There's no question. We were all like, whoa, that's amazing. Oh, I love that. Write it down. And then if you don't come back and change the behavior and do things differently, then you're not going to get the value from that. It was just entertainment.
And I want you all to start looking at next year. Rachel, can you talk about how they can start saving towards family reunion?
Yeah, so we have a family reunion fund. So out of your closing, you can designate a certain dollar amount and add it to your family reunion savings fund. So we'll hold that until the end of the year and we'll disperse it. So in December, whatever money you saved, we'll disperse it, or you can take it at any point in time anyway. So we have agents that do $200 a closing. We have some agents that do more than that. It just kind of depends, but it's a way to start saving money for that and or bowls or whatever, any sort of training event that you would like to do.
Love that, love that.
And you can look at it as if this is a cost to go to it, or you need a mindset shift and say, this is an investment in what's my future business.
Yes. If your business grows to the extent that you do, how much growth do you have when you go to an event like that and you've invested in your own growth at that kind of an event? And so it's like a deposit into your own bank account as a person. And it-
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's huge, so big. All right, so,
These are some quick things we'll go through. This is some stuff coming up from KWRI. So,
KWK,
Yeah.
yep.
so we'll just hit these real fast.
Let's see.
I'd say just scroll through
Let's
them.
just keep going.
Yeah.
Perfect, hold on.
In
a
other words,
second.
all this stuff's available to us all the time. All these are the different divisions. You realize Keller Williams started 18 different companies in the last 12 months?
I actually think by the end of Family Reunion, it was 19.
Was it another
I
one?
think it was one
Yeah.
more by the end of.
By
Family
companies, it means divisions, that kind of thing too. So this is a quote from Sean Acor.
That's right. It's impossible to be miserable and grateful at the same time. And that was a lot of that happiness advantage of being grateful and having tools and exercises to help you be more grateful.
So if I asked him, what are you grateful for? He says, my job, my family, my whatever. That does nothing to your brain because you're in a rut. But if you say to somebody, what are 3 new things you're grateful for? After 21 days, your brain starts looking for new grateful things. So
Was it by the 8th day you run out of things?
yeah,
But if you did it every morning where you said 5 things that you were grateful for or whatever, and then by the 8th day, you start having to kind of like really think about new things that you're grateful for.
but Sean said every night when he goes to bed or he does prayers with his kids, they do their prayers and they say, what are 3 things you're grateful for? And said at first it was hard and now he can't leave the room
Right.
because they keep coming up with new stuff they're grateful for.
So cool.
But you got to change your brain. There's a lot of stuff from Sean we're going to share with you all because it's a whole mindset shift of positive life. It doesn't mean happy, joyous that nothing ever goes wrong. It's a different way of looking at life.
That's right. That's right. It's like brushing your teeth, he said, right? Statistically, you should have your teeth rot out by the time you're 15 years old.
That's just my genes. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, just genes, right?
It's
Oh, you know, I
genetic.
just can't,
In
you
a
know.
sugar-based.
Yeah,
place
some
like we
people have
live.
good teeth and I just don't.
Yeah.
No, statistically, if you didn't brush your teeth by 15, based on our eating habits, they should be all rotted out. But because we spend 45 seconds a day, morning and evening or whatever, brushing your teeth, that one little 45-second little exercise saves your teeth for your life.
Changes your life.
That's right.
One little habit.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff. So mark it for next year. Make sure we'll do a lot of trainings for other stuff coming
I
up.
love that. Come find out who did good stuff
Yeah.
last month.
Next week, second week of the month is always honors and awards.
That's right. And Tech Tuesday right after this. And thank you guys for attending. So appreciate you very much. Yeah.